For today's lesson, we'll be using Makebeliefscomix. Now, this is another online tool that is very interactive, and your students are sure to enjoy making their own comics. Now, what you do is you type in Makebeliefscomix in your search engine, and then you'll be taken to this page where you'll be asked to either sign in or create an account. Now, I have already created an account, so I have signed in. So here is an example of a comic that I have already created. So what I'm going to do now is to show you how you can create one for yourself so you can help your students create their own. So the first thing you do is, since I already have one, yours will be blank, I'm just going to click on Start Over and give myself a blank palette to work with. So you can create comics from, you can do 1 panel all the way up to 18 panels. So you add or you subtract as you go along to make your comic. Now, Makebeliefscomix, it gives you characters, thought bubbles, stationaries, object. All these things are already a part of the tool. So it's just for you to now go through and you can choose what you want to be used. So it gives you a variety to choose from. So in order to make the comic, the first thing I'm going to do is to explore the background. Where will the comic be taking place? So I'm going to click on background. So when I click on background, it gives me the variety of backgrounds for which I can use to tell a simple story. And the background can be in color, or you can opt to do it in black and white. So it's dependent on the story that you want to tell. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to choose an outdoor scene. So I'm going to choose this beach scene. So all I do is I click on the scene that I want once I've highlighted the panel that I want it in, and click on it and it automatically jumps into that panel. So since I'm doing a day at the beach, I'm just going to click the next panel. Again, see it's highlighted with the red around it, and I just select the background that I want, and again it is placed in the panel. And I'm just going to do that for the third panel. So I'm doing a very simple 3-panel poster. Very quick and easy. As I said, you can make yours as detailed as possible. So I'm just going to again highlight the panel that I want and select a background. So I'm just going to go with those 3 backgrounds. Then I can just go back, and what I will do next now is just add characters to make the story interesting. Now, as I said, it gives you a variety of characters to choose from. Some of them may be recognizable if you follow US politics. Others are just some random characters. So I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to be looking for a character to use in my story. Now your characters, as you see, they don't have to necessarily look human. They can be, of course, sea creatures or whatever you want to choose. You can use pets as well. That's an option for the characters in the story. So I'm just going to choose this young lady here that looks like she's doing yoga. And I'm going to put her to be doing some exercise on the beach. Now I'm going back to the first panel and I'm just going to choose one of the poses that is given to me of this young lady, and I'm just going to add her to the beach. So she loves to do yoga. So she does yoga anywhere she gets the opportunity. So she's on the beach and she's doing yoga there. What can happen is I can click on move and I can move her around. So let us say I don't want her down the bottom, I want her a little back in the foreground. In her back, I can do that, or keep her in the background or in the foreground, wherever I want her to be. If she's too big for the picture, I can just click on scale, click on her, and then I can minimize her. Sorry, that's the background. Click on her and minimize her, or I can maximize her. to whatever size I want her to be. So I'm just going to leave her right there. So she does the yoga there. So the next scene now, I'm going to change the scene. So since she loves to do yoga all over the place, I'm going to give her another place. So she's doing yoga there on the beach. Let me just give her somewhere else to do yoga. So I'm going to go back to backgrounds and choose another. So that's the scene. So she loves to do yoga anywhere. So now she's going to be doing yoga with unicorns. So I'm going to go back to characters, and I'm going to select her again and put her in another pose as she does her yoga. So here she is again. So now we're going to put her on a headstand. So select that headstand. Here she is, and I said you can move her around or scale her. So let me click on her and move her a bit over. And I'm also going to scale her down again. And I'm going to make her a bit smaller. Now that I've scaled her down, I'm just going to have to move her a little bit again and just drag her probably there. So she's doing yoga everywhere she goes. She enjoys yoga. So I'm going to the third scene and I'm going to let her be doing another yoga pose. Put her in. This one is okay. I'm just going to do a little scale, a minor scale down of her hair and put her here. So she just loves to exercise, and she exercises by herself out in nature or with animals, as long as she gets to do her yoga. No, she is alone, so I want her to be having a conversation, but it's gonna be with herself, or maybe she can be talking to the unicorn in it. So to put in the conversational bubbles, this is what I do. I go to where it says thought bubbles and I click on that. And this also gives the option to choose various thought bubbles or thought bubbles. So since she's by herself in the first one, I'm going to go with a thought bubble. And I'm just going to choose, sorry about that, I didn't select the right one. So all I have to do is just click on it, delete. This is the panel I want it in. So I go to it and I click on the thought bubble. This too can be moved to be positioned wherever you want it to be. You can also scale it down. So I just make it a bit smaller and then move it to where I want it to be. So let me move her down a bit and move her thought bubble down a bit as well. Okay, then I tap in it and I can add a conversation to the story. So since she's thinking, she can be thinking, oh, I love to do yoga. So that's what she's thinking to herself. The next scene, you can do the same thing. Maybe she can be thinking to herself again. Give another thought bubble. Keep it. Let me change this one. Or I can probably flip it around a bit. Let me delete it. And I'm going to go with one that is turned the opposite direction. So I'm going to go with this one. And then I can type another thought. Then she can be saying, I love to do headstands. And the unicorn is watching her do her craziness and wondering what is she doing. And then for the last scene, one last thought, that one, move it, tap in it and type, I love to meditate. And so those are simple ways you can use this tool to create what you want to create, right? So just like that, you would have told a very simple 3-panel story. So as I say, you can tell up to 18 panels, or if you just want to do 1 panel, that is up to you. Now, once you finish creating the story, or your students have done their stories, you're going to want them to send them to you. So what you're going to do is first, give your comic a name. So I can just call it simple Yoga Girl. Then author's name, that's me, so I'm just going to use my initials. And then I want to send it. No, it doesn't give you the option to necessarily save it to this online platform. What you're going to have to do is you have to email it, or you can print it directly, or you can share it. So the option I'm going to go with is to email. So I click on that option, and then all I would do, or all you could do, is have your students put in their name. So I put in my name, and their students would fill out their complete name, put in your password, and they can send it to you. So you may give them the email address that you use for your class, and they can just email their comics to you. Or you can just take up the option of printing and so forth. So when you send it to yourself, or the students send it to you, then you can print it from there as well. Or you can come back and edit the poster, the comic that you would have made. So it is very easy to use. As I said, it's user friendly, and you can just easily share it with others if you desire to do that as well. So try this out with your friends, and I wish you enjoy it as well as your students enjoy using this online.